Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the news. It is the 4th of June. Where has the year gone? 2017. The footage is from one of the low-key live streams I've been doing. I'll probably PlayerUnknown's Battlegrounds, or Isaac, or Bridge Crew. Whatever the hell I've been... One of the things I've been playing recently will be in the background. I've been doing these low-key live streams where random times during the week I'll be like, fuck it, I feel like streaming. I'm trying to stream more. If you get over to twitch.tv/Nerd3, that's where the streams are happening. I advertise something! My voice is dying! Jesus Christ. My voice, this morning, it's one of those days where I wake up, my voice is like, stop talking. I'm like, but I have work to do. Stop it. So let's try and get through the news as quickly as possible. We're going to start with the news that the PlayStation 3 production has stopped. That's it. PlayStation 3 is done. The last PlayStation 3 ever has been manufactured. It's over. It's been going for 10 years. They've been manufacturing PlayStation 3s. Came out around 2007, so maybe a little bit longer they've been manufacturing it. Oh, no, 2006, didn't it? Because it came out in 2007 in this country, 2006 in Japan and America. So yeah, around just over 10 years then, which is it's a long time for a console. I mean, the PS2 was around for like 13, 14 years before it stopped manufacturing, but then again, they would keep producing fucking FIFA and PES games for that bloody thing. So yeah, PlayStation 3 production has finally stopped, finally shut down, and I was going to say it's kind of a sad day, because it's always a sad day when the last console rolls off it, and I was preparing almost an epitaph sort of thing. I'll be over here going, oh, this is the things it did well. But I really couldn't think of anything particularly great about the PS3. Like, I liked it, and there were good games on it, but what really solid IPs did it give us? Little Big Planet, big fucking tick. Infamous? Like, I don't like Killzone. I mean, I like Killzone, but I like Killzone because I really like laughing at how terrible the story is. It's so terrible. I think the games are kind of fun, but the story is so terrible. It's hilarious. I mean, if you don't know the story of Killzone, you're on, like, human planet. Some of the humans left to go to evil human planet, and then they get eviler, and then they attack, and then you attack back. You destroy and wipe out their entire planet, and then you give up. This is across the course of 4 games. You give up, like, human planet, and it becomes, like, half human, half evil human planet. And there's a big war going around the middle. And it's just... it's so dumb. It's such a dumb story. It's like, we keep killing the bad guys. We need to keep bringing them back. But they live here. Oh, man. It's like, imagine, like, the Daleks moved into an annex of the TARDIS. That's the sort of level of stupidity that's currently going on. Yeah, I couldn't... I mean, it gave us Motorstorm. Resistance, Fallen Man. Uncharted. I mean, Uncharted 2 was a great game, sure. But really, I don't give a shit. I never really cared for the Uncharted series. I find them really... It brought 2 things into gaming, the PlayStation 3 era. I mean, I'm more challenging this as an era. It brought in boring shooters and cinematic storytelling, which has always been worse than what we were doing before it. So I don't really give a fuck. I felt like the PlayStation 3 was the era when we started losing control in our video games for moments and cinematic-y things, and... yeah. It's not an era I really like. I mean, I love the PS2 era, but the PS3 era was kind of the weakest era. I feel like the PS4 era is bringing it back a little bit, and that really shows in sales, because the PS3 sold around 80 million. They've sold around 80 million PlayStation 3s. PlayStation 4 has already sold 50 million. So, possibly the PlayStation 4 is going to... I wonder if it will crack the 100 mil. I think it might do. So it's going to be selling way better than the PS3. I kind of feel like this era is bringing a lot more indie and stuff in. Like, late PS3, they were like, hey, let's put indie games on this thing. I feel like that did it better. But yeah, so long, PlayStation 3. You were definitely there. I mean, there was magic when it first came out. I mean, games look so much better. But I feel like we left my favorite era of gaming, and then... I feel like every era when I was growing up got better and better. Like, because I started, like, with a fucking, like... Sega Mega Drive was my first console. Sega Mega Drive, and then I had like PC for a while, and I kept like having these little jump ups. Then the PS2 came out and it was better, and like all these things came out, and then the PS3 came out, and I just was like, I can't prefer the stuff the game for it. Maybe I just grew old. But I like the shits now, and I really love indie games at the moment. So yay! Anyway, bye PlayStation 3. You were a fat bastard. Right, some news. Now, unfortunately, I'm going to give you 2 bits of news that tie into each other. So I'm gonna bring your hopes up and then crush them. I hope you're ready for this. Kerbal Space Program has been acquired by Take-Two Interactive. Take-Two Interactive, who own Rockstar, have bought Kerbal Space Program, and I believe the team as well. So I think they've brought Squad. Was it called Squad? The monkey face that comes on the start game. Crack, I don't know. But yeah, so they're buying the things and they're basically Take-Two Interactive had looked at this indie game and gone, shit, that's a great thing, we need to own that. Kind of like what Microsoft did with Minecraft, and then they started nickel and diming the fucking thing. So, sometimes that's a good thing. Sometimes it means it's going to get a bigger budget, they're going to have a lot more resources to fix bugs, make the game better, sequels, expansions, DLC, free DLC if you pre-ordered it before whenever it actually launched, they're keeping that promise. So yeah, good promisey, good, happy, possible times. Here's another news story. Take-Two Interactive's boss, who own Rockstar, remember, said this about microtransactions. We are convinced that we're probably, from an industry view, under-monetizing on a per-user basis. There is wood to chop because I think we can do more, and we could do more without interfering with our strategy of being the most creative and ethical approach, which is delighting customers. We're not going to grab the last nickel. Now, this is a man saying this about a franchise, Grand Theft Auto 5, where he took away all the single-player DLC, scrunched it in a ball, and threw it in the bin because, microtransactions. GTA 5 single-player is incredible. It's untouchable of how good a game is. GTA 5 Online is a microtransaction-laden hellhole that's not fun to play. It's fun if you've got a very specific thing built, you can have fun with it, and you got, like, when I build my little games for it, that's great fun. But the actual main central section of it is not fun. I mean, I took my 2.5 million subscriber video out to do a fucking movie length, look how shit this is, thing. Which was fun. But yeah, I just feel bad for the upcoming Red Dead Redemption 2. If microtransactions enter Red Dead Redemption 2 single player, I won't be playing it. Yep. That's the thing, you can't do that shit. I will not let that stand. That's shit. That is the shittest thing. I don't care how fucking good that game looks. I'm not gonna support microtransactions because it's shit. In a single player game, it is beyond shit. Charge more for your game if you want to. Don't go, we'll give you a bit of the game. You kind of, this whole games as a service thing. It's just absolute, I have nothing but hatred for it. And it's nowhere near my precious, lovely indie games, so, fuck it, let them die! Let them all die, let them all collapse and die, and then come up with little people coming up with interesting things. A lot of people said, what happens if the game industry collapses? And I kind of feel like the game industry could collapse, and I don't think I'd notice, because people who like making games will still be putting them up on the internet where I can buy them, and everything will be fine. Anyway, yeah, so Red Dead Redemption 2's multiplayer is most likely going to have more shortcuts and more things like, they'll be called, what are they going to be called? Cowboy points, hat points. They're going to be, I mean, shit ton of money. It's just going to be a really shit horse. Like, what a new horse? £1,000. £1,000 of this era could buy you Denver. Yeah, it's £1,000 for this horse. It's a magic horse. Who gives a fuck? The online's going to suck dick, and that's going to be sad. But, on the bright side, maybe they'll keep them at the single player, and you can just ignore the shitty multiplayer with its shitty, crabby bullshit. Fuck it. I'm so annoyed they got rid of the single player. Like, GTA 5's story is so well done. So well done, and single-player DLC was being made, and they were like, we can make more money if we just shit out a car. And I like how he goes, we got a strategy of being the most creative. That's all you've done. You've shat out cars. Car, new base, car, new base. What does the base do? It gives you more missions. What do the missions give you? Money. What do you do with the money? Buy more bases and cars. Car, base, new haircut, car. That's the least creative thing you could possibly be doing now. Give me a fucking single-player DLC for that game that's like 90 years old now. God fucking damn it. Fuck you, Take-Two. I'd like to point out that Rockstar and Take-Two don't actually... I've had nothing but miserable times with Take-Two Interactive. I'd like to point this out. I have had nothing but miserable fucking times dealing with Take-Two Interactive. Like, Rockstar, pretty cool, but the Take-Two side of them are assholes. Like, even before I started YouTube, I had a really good thing set up. Rockstar were like, you can do that thing. And I was working with somebody who was very involved with GTA, and then Take-Two were like, nah, can't do that. So fuck them. Anyway, let's go on. Ubisoft has a new logo. Ubisoft. Ubisoft's new broken and unfinished logo is their new thing. I mean, you'll notice a trend now. This is the logo that's in. White. That's it. That's legit. White flat design is in at the moment. That's what everyone wants with their thing. So Ubisoft's blue swirl that they've had since what, 2003 or something. That's gone away, and it's now the exact same thing, although it's not lined up properly. The O is slightly bent and cracked, and to me, I see that and I go, that reminds me of broken software. That reminds me of glitches and bugs. Like, the O in Ubisoft is slightly off-center, the things are all slightly off, it looks unfinished. It's unfinished and broken. Oh my god, it's perfect for them! Like, it's just so Ubisoft. They've taken that thing they had and they've gone, and you have to go and look this up. Again, in the description will be absolutely everything and all the thingamajibs, but yeah. Oh, Gordon fucking Bennett. Shall I read? Right, because when you get a new logo, you get, like, the artist and whoever the creative design team are. They have a bit of a wank. They go, whoa, and they write down what their thoughts are while wanking. And I want to read this to you because it's fucking magnificent. And people who write shit like this, right? And I'm gonna generalize a small amount here. But people who write stuff like this should be shot. We should just get rid of them. They are just filler. They are just taking up space and resources with their fucking inflated ego, toss baggy horribleness. We should just get rid of them all. Just feed them to ducks. Like, that's how we should get rid of these people. Like, listen to this. This is about, right, a 2D fucking logo for Ubisoft, which is just the same swirl, apart from they've just made it a bit broken and not coloured it in. Here we go. Today, we create worlds. Worlds that live as video games, comics, movies, TV shows, books, and amusement park rides. Our new logo is minimalist, modern, and monochromatic. It's a window into our worlds, giving a preview of what's to come by highlighting the artistry that goes into creating them. The swirl and the letter O are both deliberately created to be reminiscent of hand-drawn shapes and represent our human qualities for enthusiasm, curiosity, and the grain de folie, whatever the fuck that is, that Ubisoft is known for. Right, what the fuck does that's what the fuck? It's they've broken the swirl. Oh, it's highlighting artistic and it's highlighting broken. That's all I see when I see that. I go broken. And Ubisoft are not the company that should be putting a logo. The first thing that goes in my head is broken. I like on Reddit, the first thing someone noticed was it looks like a turd from the top. And that's a beautiful thing. And that's what I'm going to see forever as well. It's absolute... I mean, like, I've designed a logo that's quite noticeable. And I'm proud that I made a logo that's quite noticeable. But all I did was I picked a font that I liked and I added a bit of a border so I could put it on loads of backgrounds. And I didn't go, oh, if I had this, it's going to add the minimalism and the artistry of my... No, I just went, red and white stands out, red and white will give me the difference, whack a shadow on there, done, bush. In fact, the actual logo doesn't have a shadow on it. I add it per thumbnail if it needs it. So, yeah. What? I don't know, whatever. It's apparently I look at that logo and I'm supposed to go, oh yes, that's enthusiasm, curiosity, and grain de folie. That just sounds like something you feed chickens. But yeah, I see that and I go, it's broken. The O is broken. I don't know how they think it's a hand-drawn shape, because the O is perfect apart from it's slightly cracked at the top. But it's noticeably broken. It's so fucking perfect. I feel like it's gonna change at some point very soon. But for me, I mean, the Ubisoft logo was the words Ubisoft separated, entertainment underneath it, and a rainbow going over the top. That's the logo I remember, because that is a very 90s logo, and I like that a lot. Anyway, let's get on to something else that's broken. Prey has added new PlayStation 4... PlayStation 4? Fucking hell. I did that a lot, don't I, PlayStation 4? That makes sense. PlayStation 4 Pro support. They've added that to Prey. And it adds huge amounts of stutter, and it's another game that is worse with PlayStation 4 Pro. The PlayStation 4 Pro is either the thing you need to desperately make games work, a la Last Guardian, or... which I totally forgot existed and I didn't finish. Shit. I just realised that that's out. Cock, I should play that. So it's a thing that either improves a game to the point where it's actually playable, or completely cripples it, a la Final Fantasy 15, a game that I cannot play because my PlayStation fucking 4 Pro just makes it this horrible, jaggy, jaunty, horrific mess. It's horrible. Don't like it. I mean, you can play it in 4K. I've got a 4K TV, I don't even see the fucking difference. I don't know why people aim for 4K. I really don't. It's not a thing that I've ever cared about. Unless you're going to squish it down in VR. That's the only time I would ever really care about that. Yeah, but here's just another story of another game. If you buy a PS4 Pro, You are you're flipping a coin of, will this game be the superior version, as in the only version that's playable, or will it just randomly get support that makes it an unplayable mess? Let's find out. I think PlayStation's really shooting themselves in the foot with this fucking thing, and I feel like Xbox's Scorpio is gonna really do damage if they actually get some fucking exclusives to that console that people want to play. We'll see. Speaking of laggy pieces of shit, actually, okay, this is a game I really like. I think there's a video coming up from it sometime next week. I've already recorded the video. Matt's editing it. We'll see. There's a game that's just come out called Rhyme. It is R-I-M-E, not R-Y-H-M-H-Y-M-H-M-E. It is it's like, I described it as The Witness, but it doesn't wank to the smell of its own farts. Like, that's how, it's like a minimalistic but very bright and cheerful puzzle game with no combat. Apart from there's actual fun puzzles, and I felt clever and smart solving things, not why am I doing a crossword. Like, it's a very good game. My issue with it, and something I even mentioned in the video, is I had to put the graphic settings down because it was just fucking destroying my computer. Like, my computer just couldn't run it. Like, my computer, I could stream VR off this thing. VR, which is being displayed on multiple headsets and being recorded and streaming it, it's absolutely fucking fine. Absolutely fine. The computer doesn't give a shit about it. The computer's just there going, yeah, I'm having a lovely time. Like, that's a thing that I could do. Whereas, with Rhyme, I couldn't run it on the highest setting. So I put it down quite a bit to try and get it to run. But still, in that video, you will hear, I mean, Matt's going to try his hardest to get rid of it, but you will hear airplane noise. You'll hear my computer really being pushed 100%. Like, it's either a bad port or there's something else. Now, a lot of people have said that they slow down the stuttering issues, which are plenty, and you'll see in the video, are down to the Denvo, however you fucking pronounce that, the DRM. It's got the anti-tamper technology, and it's got that DRM in it. And a few people are like, oh, maybe that's the thing. A lot of companies put this thing on their game because apparently they still think the DRM works, because apparently they've not heard of The Witcher, which is fucking DRM free and sold infinite copies to infinite people. It just is. That's all it is. The Witcher is a bajillion copies game. Because I don't really think DRM does anything. It's a naughty thing to say. All my games are going to come out DRM free. Genuinely, there's no point to add it in there. I don't see... Oh, people are going to pirate it. Well, they're not going to fucking have paid for it in the first place, are they? Like, if I haven't provided a demo, yeah, go ahead. I mean, you got Steam refunds as well, but fuck it. Pirate it, see if you like it. If you don't, fuck it. Who gives a shit? That's an important thing. And there are games coming soon. We'll talk about that when they're done. I'm going to do E3 kind of release, like Bethesda thing of it's now! But later. But yeah, so people have been blaming the DRM, but the DRM is uncrackable. I mean, it's been cracked left, right, and center. But it got broken. Someone actually has broken the thing within 5 days. 5 days. The amount of effort that DRM put in. But all the people who have cracked it have reported that the stuttering and the slowdown go away. And it is entirely down to the DRM. And that is fucked up. It's fucked up that you'd put something on your game that just makes it so much slower and so much crappier. Because it's very rare that I come across a game, because I don't talk about performance in any of my videos, because my computer is way beyond what most people have. And I'm aware of that, it's just because it's an editing and, like, computer machine. I mean, it needs a few slight upgrades and stuff, especially CPU, but, like, for the most part, it's better than what most people have. It's in the top thing, so I'm not going to talk about performance, unless if I had, like, an average, what the current average machine is. If I went on Steam, on their stats page, built an average machine, I would talk the shit about performance from that machine. But the higher up, I don't need to mention it. But that I actually mentioned in the video, because it was so slow. It was so slow and so, like, really hammering my computer hard. Like, it was pushing it too much. And apparently it is just the DRM doing that. I mean, it still might be a shitty port, because it's on the consoles as well. But it is just it seems like it's just the DRM. Now, the company who makes it said that they would remove it once it's been cracked. Which is why I put it in there. So we'll see if they're good on their word. If it's removed, I can recommend that game. If they don't bother to remove it, then I can't, because you'll need to have quite a beastie computer to get it going to a nice degree. I mean, it's a very minimalist game, so running it on low graphics isn't that bad. But you don't really want to run a game on the low graphics. We want to run it on the best you can do and still get a comfortable frame rate. But it's stuttery and laggy and quite poor. And it's very rare that in the comedy videos I have to mention that, but I felt if I didn't say anything, I'd be like, look, no, seriously, I can see this too. Sometimes I've got to go, no, I can see this too, and everyone relaxes and goes, alright, you can see it too. I'll review the game. I mean, people are most likely to buy things on consoles and things if they see stuff like that. But yeah, so console versions are probably fine. But yeah, apparently, whatever. There's like, they call the. I've just reading this thing. I'll link again in the description. The DRM calls up these triggers to check that everything's fine, and stuff like Prey and all that sort of thing call about 1,000 triggers. This was calling about 300,000 triggers. And there was millions of called triggers throughout a few hours of gameplay, and it is just slowing it down. Slowing it down. Stop putting... especially if DRM fucks your game up, don't even fucking put it on. Because it just makes it worse. And then unless... if you go... see, that's the thing, is if you release a game and it's got bad performance and people review it as bad performance, people are going to go, oh, I'm not going to bother playing it. Like, you want to have the best performance possible. The DRM is going to cost you if it's making the game shitty. Ah, I just want to strangle some people. Anyway! Let's get on to some good news. HTC Vive just did two things. One, they released that stupid top bit. The plasticky, solid top bit with built-in earphones. I'm not going to bother to get that because I like the straps. And I feel like anytime I see someone complain that the straps don't support it properly, they're always wearing it wrong and they haven't pulled the top bit up properly. Whatever. The thing that they've done is when you now get your HTC Vive, they're throwing in Star Trek Bridge Crew. They've got a thingy with Star Trek Bridge Crew that anytime you buy it, you'll get Star Trek Bridge Crew. I mean, you know, that basically just knocks 50 quid off the price or whatever, because Star Trek Bridge Crew is a full price game. Star Trek Bridge Crew, I think that's tomorrow's video, is so good. It's so good. It's my new definitive VR game. It is a fucking dream. I'm yet to play it with people. This is just the single player, which everyone says is much worse, and it is a fucking dream. I'm so excited to play it with people. I'm going to be doing that on streams soon. Possibly with Total Biscuit. I'm quite excited to do that sort of thing. We were trying to get it done, but it did launch broken. Ubisoft and their new logo. So we couldn't actually connect, but maybe next week we'll be doing that. But yeah, it's such a great game, and putting it in with a Vive is such a genius move, because it really is just even the single player, man, even that single player is so good, with you just commanding all the AI around, and oh man, it's so good. But you don't get like the full control of the AI, you can take over their positions and that sort of thing. It's like that Artemis game, but like in VR with Star Trek. Even like playing on the classic ship, so good. So good. It's so, like, it's the smile on my face when I'm playing that game. It's proper. That's what we need from VR. And it's selling, apparently it's selling incredibly well, even at its full price. It's selling really, really well. Like, I'm so hoping that this leads hey, maybe more people should do VR games. Yeah, make proper full VR games. Like, we're going to have, this year we're going to have this. I'm still thinking we're going to have Fallout 4 VR. And I think that this is the year that everyone goes, oh, VR looks like the hot shit. Because this is a definitive, proper, full VR game. And it's exciting. Bundling with the Vive is a great fucking plan. Great fucking plan. Anyway. Next bit of news, which will be... we've got... Square Enix are selling the Hitman rights as well as IO Interactive. So we know Square Enix is selling IO Interactive. They're also selling the Hitman rights, not with it, separately, but you could buy, if you happen to be Take-Two Interactive or someone, you could buy all of it. So it looks like IO Interactive might be able to continue working on Hitman, which would be good because, you know, they're doing a good thing with it. And hopefully they'll be able to move away from the shit Square Enix put on them and actually make just a proper, standard, straight Hitman game. And that would be nice. I'm not going to talk about that very much because that's news that seems to be ongoing throughout the week. EA have announced the new Need for Speed game, Need for Speed Payback, because apparently now they're just naming it after WWE pay-per-views. Next year we're going to have Need for Speed Great Balls of Fire, and how we shall laugh. It's doing that thing that Need for Speed The Run did. Now, do you remember Need for Speed The Run? No? Well, it's unsurprising. Need for Speed The Run was a game where they added loads of story to the point of you were actually out of your car and you were like a detective, or you were... I can't fucking remember what you were in that game. It wasn't very good, but it was a very interesting idea, and it's one of those games that I played, and I was like, that's interesting. I don't want to play any more of it, but if you refine that, that's a good idea. And it looks like with Payback, they're going back to that. So it's half racing, half story-driven stuff. So instead of it being go from A to B several times, that's a lap done. It is a mission-based, story-focused kind of game. And that always does interest me, and maybe they'll do a good job of this. We've only literally seen... The trailer came out literally minutes before I started recording this. But, yeah, maybe. It's coming out in November this year. We'll see a lot more of that at E3. And yeah, no, I believe it's not going to have any of that always online shit that they've done for the last ones. I mean, I've really fallen out of what the Need for Speed series is doing, but possibly it'll be interesting. Anyway, now it's time to get to the big bulk of Nintendo news that weigh us down through these, so we'll get through it quickly. There's another fucking Pokemon mobile phone game coming out. Pokemon Go, we already got. Magic Cup Jump is something I didn't know existed until today. Which is a game where you just do Magic Cup things or whatever. There's a new one coming called Pokeland, where you do Pokemon things and it's free to play and it'll be filled with microtransactions. And just like most mobile phone games, it's really not worth playing and it'll just be a waste of time, and then servers will crash and it'll stop. I have this issue with a lot of mobile phone games at the moment are too complicated. Like, if you get into a game if you don't get into a game at ground level, they're almost like MMO levels of difficulty to get into. Like, I was talking about this the other day, the Dragon Ball Z one, the Yu-Gi-Oh one. The amount of effort it takes to work out how to just play those fucking games and get through all the bits that are like stores and whatever the fuck. They've got so many bits of shit attached to them. It just feels really convoluted and complicated. And I think they're going to be pushing a lot of people away with those. But they're going to be bringing on their whales to bring them all their money in. Fuck, I hate microtransactions. They've really fucked up gaming. Anyway, no, speaking of fucked up gaming. So, Nintendo, the Switch has online play. I'd like to point out that until this moment, exactly right now, I was going to tear this thing apart for being completely useless. And it is simply because I just remembered that the Switch isn't what I thought it was. So, they're online. We knew that they were going to charge for online games and stuff. So, if you want to play online on your Switch starting next year, you're going to have to pay for a subscription service like PlayStation In and Xbox Live and all that sort of thing. I should really get rid of the PlayStation Network thing. I never use it. I never really use online. I never really play games online. It's only useful actually, you know, when I'm doing collabs and shit. It's the only reason I keep it there. It's like a work payment. But they're doing it. This is $20 a year, which is not a lot of money. And until literally minutes ago, I was going to like, well, why the fuck would you want to play online games on a handheld console? But I've totally forgot this isn't just a handheld console, is it? It's literally, I've never used it as anything but a handheld console. I've just been playing Minecraft and Puyo Pop Tetris on it, which is incredible, by the way. That's all I do. That's all I do is I play Tetris. It's just a new Game Boy for me. But they've announced that on this thing, so you're going to get your online play. And you're going to get your... Well, you don't actually. You get online play, you don't get your voice chat. Because the voice chat thing is an app on your phone. And they've also revealed that you need to play like a game online. You need to plug your phone and your Switch into a device that then plugs into your headphones. Like, so instead of it just being you plug your headphones into your phone and then have the app running, you actually have to plug it into the Switch. You have this, like, device that goes into the Switch and into the phone. It's a fucking mess. It's a real fucking mess. Because you need, like, this splitter device. And yeah, it's a mess. They've done such a terrible job with this online. But it's a handheld games console. So, who gives a fuck? Actually, thinking about it, the picture, linked in the description, has the thing that looks like a squid now. Fucking Jim's dying. Plugged into your phone and also plugged into the actual Switch, not the controllers. So that thing's going to have to plug into your phone where you're sitting, and if you're playing as a console, your Switch miles away. So you're going to have this cable trailing from your Switch onto this device, into your phone, into your headset. That is a real fucking mess. Wow, I did not realise that. Wow, okay. And remember, if you got like a phone without a 3.5mm jack, because apparently that's the fucking rage, then you're gonna have to have an adapter plugged into that as well. You're gonna look like fucking, you know, in old films where they're doing like the communications people doing all the phones and stuff, the switchboards, and they're pulling things out and plugging things in. You're gonna look like fucking that. Just play fucking Splatoon 2. The other thing you get with your Nintendo Switch, $20 a year that I'm not going to bother with because fuck playing online. As long as the local works, I don't give a shit because it's a handheld games console that only needs local for me. You get a classic game selection. Now before, this was said to be like how the PSN does it where you get like a handful of games. You're supposed to get one game a month and then after that month it's gone. Now it seems you get like almost a little mini Netflix of classic games. So you get to, you pay your money and then you can just play all these old games and stuff. Now, this may mean they're getting rid of the virtual store, which is interesting, because that technically means that the Wii U and the 3DS will be the last place you will ever legally be able to buy these games, because you're not going to be able to get your hands on the SNES Mini, because it will sell out in fucking seconds. I went to a CEX the other day and they were selling it for £170. Also, the CEX just next to that was selling it for way less, and it's just a fucking mess. So, yeah, the only place you're going to legally be able to buy these games from will be these consoles, because the other ones you're going to get a subscription service to old games. Now, Nintendo know how easy it is, right, to get ROMs for... You can download a little download and get, like, for a gig, you will be able to get, like, everything Nintendo ever made before, like, 1990. Like, that's literally, probably slightly later than that as well. Like, that's literally a thing you could do easily. And they know that, so they're going more for the subscription model. I see that means the Virtual Console didn't do very well, apart from on the Switch, where if you look at the top-selling charts, the Virtual Console games, which I think are the Neo Geo games, are always quite near the top. That's probably because there's nothing else to actually buy on that thing. But anyway, yeah. So they're doing this instead. They're doing a subscription thing, which is kind of... Sometimes subscriptions work, and sometimes they don't. Like, I like Netflix for watching new shows I don't care about. If I like a show I like watching Netflix, I will buy it on DVD or Blu-ray. That's what I do. I like to actually have a physical copy of it. Physical copies are important to me. For games, if I've downloaded a game and it's sitting on the console, then that's fine for me as well. I mean, I'll have it on a memory stick, I'll do a backup when I've got it kept there, so I've still got my physical backup of it. Having this subscription to just classic games, like, I'd rather own them in some way. Like, no way of owning them does kind of irk me. I'd like to... I mean, but again, I could just go online and download that gigabyte thing, so... I like Adobe subscription. I know a lot of people attack it, but I love Adobe subscription thing. Like, Creative Cloud, however much it costs per month, is way less than the $6,000 it used to cost to buy that software outright. When I fucking started before Creative Cloud, when it was like Adobe CS4, it was like $6,000 to buy. Unless you're a student or a teacher, but I wasn't, and you could get it half off, but like... $6,000 to buy that software, and every year it would cost thousands more. Subscribing for like a fair chunk of money a month, which is not a huge amount, way better than any of that shit. That would have, like, Adobe back in the day, you may not know, so Adobe was super easy to pirate, and I think it was intentional. Because if it was just a code, it was like massively expensive software, but it was just this little code that, and everybody would share codes that worked. And then you could get the trial version, download the full trial version, and then put the code in. And I wasn't too keen on that, so I would download the trial version, and then every month format my computer and re-download it again. So I had a very fast computer, and I could keep using the trial version. That's how I got around it. That's how I started. And Adobe kind of let you into that thing. Now they've locked it down a bit more, I believe. But they've got the subscription service, which means it's more accessible. But I learned editing and all that sort of stuff on Adobe, so I'm built into Adobe software. So now when I can actually afford it, I'm totally willing to pay for all their stuff. It's a very clever system they had, but now actually charging less for it, I think is good. I've gone way off topic here. I just see that get attacked all the time, and I so much prefer it because I don't want to fork $6,000 out flat and then another $2,000 every year to upgrade. With this, literally yesterday I upgraded my Premiere Pro, so I'm kind of still setting it all up. But everything's there, and it's so much cheaper. It's so much cheaper. I think it actually works out cheaper even across like years and years and years as well. So I don't know why people get annoyed at it, but they do. I'd like to know. I think they're just like, you don't actually own the software. Well, yeah, but I still have a box copy of CS4 that I bought flat out, and then they got fucking CS, so you can buy older ones. Doesn't matter. Fuck it. Fuck all that noise. I think that's everything. Oh, we'll end on a good bit of news. Because we have a good bit of news now. It's been a bit of a weary one, isn't it? Sonic Mania, the Sonic game that we're all incredibly excited for. Incredibly excited for. You should be incredibly excited for. Has a launch date of August. Now, that's the exciting bit. Its price. Sonic Mania, a game that I thought was going to come out at full price, is going to be just $20. Or £15 if you're in the UK. Just $20 for the full proper Sonic experience that looks so good and I'm so excited for. I know we're in the Sonic cycle right now, but it's not being made by Sonic Team, so I have all the hopes in the world. Also, on Steam, it's 10% off at the moment. Now, I'm not advocating pre-orders, I'm just saying that puts the price down to just $18 or $13.50 for a brand new proper Sonic game, which is good, cheap money. And I think they're selling this one cheap, so you end up going, oh, Sonic's good, and then end up buying the inevitably crap Sonic Forces. But I like the price point they've done for this. I was slightly worried that it was going to be very expensive, but that is a good, cheap price point that makes sense and will sell a shit ton of copies because of it. and it's exactly what we needed. Because Sonic games, when they came out, used to be 60 quid. That's not enough game anymore, and it's a nice adaptation. It's nice to see Sega not actually fucking with consumers and going, no, you know what? That's a cheap game. We're going to make it a cheap price because it's old school. Brilliant. Well done. I cannot be any more hyped for Sonic Mania. I genuinely think it's going to be my game of the year. Unless it's shit. Which would be surprising. Like, genuinely surprising. Anyway. Then again, it's been a surprising year so far. Boo! See? Oh, that's terrifying. There'll be streams all right throughout the week, randomly, maybe. I don't know. I'm sort of doing one every other day, sometimes every day. We'll see. I'm going to go now, and I'm going to rub salt into my left leg. I have no idea what I'm saying that for. I needed something to end on, and nothing else came out, so I went with the B plan, and maybe I should have gone with the A plan, but I don't know. Anyway, go away.